I'm not sure what's left to say, Faithful.
There was a moment after this episode where I just sat in silence. I was thinking, how on earth do the Faithfuls keep ending up in the same position episode after episode? From the moment the first set of people walked into the breakfast room, it was becoming clear that the Faithfuls were yet again leading themselves down the path to banishing yet another Faithful. At breakfast, Gail and Lauren seemed set on going for Aaron, while along with Nick they felt very confident they were getting a traitor. At the end of episode 6, Lauren said to Kira she would go with her suspicions, but that plan didn't last very long. We knew that Mike, Pac-Man and Tranna were the possible victims. I was a bit surprised to see Tranna walk into breakfast. Tranna can be a helpful distraction for the traitors, so I can understand why she wasn't picked to be the traitors' latest victim. That honour went to Mike, one of the earlier suspected players who was the first person to suspect Michael John. Suspicions against Mike had died down. The only question was, would this elimination cast more eyes in Michael John's direction?
I think people are still at the level where they're not ready to accuse me. I do think that I am in a couple people's minds, but not at that level just yet.
In a play to convince Tranna that he was a Faithful, Aaron tells Tranna he's been keeping who he thinks are traitors close to him in order to survive, those being Cedric and Laurie. It's debatable if that's ever a good idea to do so. In this case, it's not, because Cedric and Laurie are Faithfuls. Aaron's plan, coupled with Lauren and Kevin's plan, make the Faithfuls seem even funnier. How many others are supposedly keeping traitors close to them, but they are in fact Faithfuls? We did get to see a dynamic that hasn't been featured much. Kevin and Laurie working together to get to the end was an interesting sight. Doesn't seem like either of them think the other is a traitor, so that's a positive for both. Cedric felt the rest of them were coming for him. Nearly every episode Cedric's name comes up. Why is it every time Cedric asks a question or gets something wrong in a mission, someone, mainly Lauren, accuses him of trying to throw the challenge? It's become annoyingly repetitive, and she does so again about the mission in this episode. I would have thought people might have a bit of leeway with trying to find a painting that has multiple variations in the manner based on a questionable painting your teammate has done.
Fun fact, I have aphantasia. I cannot picture things with my brain.
Only $7,000 was made from the mission. The interesting part was that each member of the winning team won a shield. The winning team consisted of Cedric, Lauren, Neda and Nick. Kira's once again trying to swing votes towards Michael John, but in a more subtle way than in episode 6. Surprisingly, Neda is on board, despite her previous reservations about getting rid of a traitor. The early indications at breakfast made it increasingly clear that this wasn't going to be an easy feat. Too many people deeming that it's more important to get out who they think is the head traitor instead of any traitor at all.
Everyone comes in with one thought process of we need to get the head. What head?
How many Faithfuls will they go through in search of the head traitor?
I am definitely expecting for us to get a traitor out tonight. The traitors are cornered. I can feel it.
I'm still going in with wanting to cut the head off the snake. The traitors are definitely feeling the pressure.
Are they really? To have this level of confidence with 0 results is hilarious.
But like these Faithfuls are just not wanting to get a traitor out. It's like, how hard can we push for Michael? I don't know.
The results thus far are an abject failure.
No one's even paying attention. Everyone's just so fucking tunnel vision.
Pac-Man is right. Some of them have tunnel vision and they keep making the same mistakes. This was an opportunity to listen. Kareen wanted the louder ones to be quiet and listen, but they didn't listen. Michael John hit back at Kira and it was a good distraction on his part. I think that might have helped his case. Most of the Faithfuls either don't see him as a traitor or dismiss the notion that he could be the head traitor. Really disappointed that once again there's nothing in the edit that shows Neda speaking at the round table. I mentioned before how she needs to up her game a bit more and look more like an active participant, a willing Faithful. Neda can't ride this wave for too much longer.
And Neda is not emotionally connected to anybody. She's yes, no, so she would make a great traitor.
What was that vote from Kira? That didn't make sense. I don't understand why she voted for Laurie. If it wasn't going to be Michael John and she wanted to save Aaron, why would voting for Laurie help? Cedric would have been the one to go for, especially as Kira's voted for him before.
So, You guys are honestly the worst faithfuls in the history of traitors because I am a faithful.
I shake my head for two reasons. First is that it's happened again. The faithfuls have yet again failed to banish a traitor.
You gotta admit, it's a little funny that they still haven't gotten a traitor yet.
The names that they're still throwing around, I'm like, how are you guys getting this so wrong?
It's like they wanna lose, honestly. I think they wanna lose the game.
Oh, we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
The second is even though these faithfuls are awful, they're not even the worst in the whole franchise. That title is held by another country, but I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. Though I'm starting to wonder if these faithfuls might eventually take that crown.
I have never worked with people who are so hard.
How can you be so bad at a game you love so much?
I want all of Canada to know that I know I'm an idiot, okay? I know. Don't DM me.
I'm glad Trina has the self-awareness to know that because she has got it wrong on every single occasion. I'm not surprised Kira's feeling like she's going to give up going after Michael John. I thought that she should do that as I was watching the episode. Sounds like Pac-Man is exhausted by it too. Before the roundtable, Pac-Man didn't feel heard when voicing his opinions. It's a shame because like Mike, Pac-Man had early suspicions that Michael John is a traitor. There's no point in Kira continuing to go after Michael John unless he comes after her. The faithfuls are not listening and they've been awful at this game. She said her piece, but I also think there's cracks appearing that might come back to haunt her. With Michael John's defense at the roundtable and conversations afterwards, there's some seeds being subtly planted that could actually help Michael John's game. In between episodes 6 and 7, I've been thinking about a couple of things in regards to both Kira and Michael John. I just want to make it clear that I don't know anything about either of them beyond what has been mentioned on the show, so what I'm saying is just my observation. First thing is that I've been wondering if Michael John has been playing a character all this time, and many would just think he couldn't possibly be a traitor because he wouldn't be able to handle it. It's just a thought, and he could be exactly as he is. The other thing was about Kira and if her circumstances are influencing how she's playing the game. In episode 6, Nick said he was trying to help Kira win, and we can't forget the way she reacted to Michael John sacrificing the $5,000. Her facial expressions were very clear the past couple of episodes. If there's any hint of desperation for the money, it could see Kira make a mistake that could cost her. Maybe underestimating Michael John could end up being one of those mistakes. Gail, Kevin, Laurie, Pac-Man, and Trana were the faithfuls that didn't have a shield. Nick is lucky he had the shield because his name was coming up as a possible target. I can see reasons for picking most of them, though there has been this undercurrent of suspicion that Laurie isn't who she says she is, but that hasn't been mentioned again since the start. I'm not sure who would be the best pick, but I wonder if they will go for Gail again.